Hey, it's Sean again, continuing our series on the Conestoga. So we've got the rear curtain open now. It's time to unlatch the rear of the trailer to take the tension off the tarp so that we can roll this rear portion forward for loading and unloading the trailer. Inside the trailer, there should be a tool stored, and make sure that that tool stays with the trailer. So when you unhook from one of these trailers, make sure that this tool is stored in the trailer, and it goes with this is a 3/4 inch hex, so if you ever do come up missing this, you can get a 3/4 inch Allen wrench and be able to get the job done. But the way it's stored is like this, with the hex facing upward and the handle where you put your hand up to the rear. So that would go like that. So that goes in this area right here, and you can insert this tool either from the inside or from the outside, but usually when you're standing on the ground, it's probably more ergonomic to insert it from the outside, and you want to start in a comfortable location. It's a hex, so it's got 6 different locations that it can be in, but there's usually only 1 or 2 that make any sense ergonomically speaking. So we're going to go up with this, and then it's going to come back down to where we started from. So you want to start in a comfortable position. A lot of times when you come up with this, you may run out of clearance with your fingers, so you may need to close this door, especially if you run the tool on the outside. So if you look here, the arm that holds the pressure on the tarp is connected to the back of the trailer here, and it goes down and indexes with a notch down there. So as I bring this handle up, that arm will come down, and then as I continue up, it's going to release from the notch. And then I can carefully pick this up and come down with my handle again. And there's a little shelf right here that stores onto so that it'll stay out of trouble as you roll the tarp ahead. So now this side is open. We've got to go and do the other side. So again, get your tool set in a place that's ergonomically good for you. You might possibly have to close this door. Come up with the handle. Now this time the tarp is wanting to roll forward because we don't have anything holding the other side. So you're probably going to have to come all the way up with your handle, and you may even have to pull back a little bit on the tarp to be able to get this arm released inside. And now again, we're going to hold the arm up so that it goes up onto that storage shelf and bring the handle down to the position that we started from. Then when you go to take this handle out, sometimes they jam in there. And if you pull from down here, you're never going to get it out of there. What you want to do is pull from up here and just kind of wiggle the bottom, and usually it'll come right out of there. Don't set this down where you're going to forget it. So now we're ready to roll the tail end of the trailer ahead for loading the rear portion of the bed. Okay, now we're getting ready to latch the rear again. We've slid the tarp back closed and we're going to lock it. These arms have a jam nut right here, and the length of the arm dictates how tight the tarp is. So it's somewhat regular that these jam nuts work their way loose, which means that this can turn. This should not turn. But that's how they're adjustable. They can be made longer or shorter by turning that arm. So you want to make sure that these jam nuts stay tight. So if you're having trouble with that, get it in the shop, or if you've got a wrench that'll fit that. So now we're ready to latch it back up again. And again, we need our 3/4 inch Allen wrench tool, and start low because you're gonna come back and finish where you start. So we got to go up with our tool, and when you take this apart, pay attention to what notch it came out of, because you're going to want to likely go back into the same notch. You may have to pull back on the tarp a little bit, and then make sure that this is properly seated down in that notch, and kind of pay attention to it a little bit as you start to come down with the tool. Be really careful with your finger clearance right here. This will pinch your fingers if you get in the wrong place. And we come down with this, and it should over center and lock into place. Verify that you've got good tension on the side of your tarp. They don't need to be super, super tight, but you shouldn't be seeing any wrinkles on the side of the tarp. Now we can go to the other side. Same thing. Find a good ergonomic position for your tool. Raise it up. Now this one is really tight here. This trailer apparently has sat still for a while, so sometimes they need a little lubrication here in this pivot and also the pivot on the arm. So we'll come up with that, get our arm locked in, babysit it a little bit as you come down with your handle, and then bring it down, and it should over center and lock in. And again, make sure you don't leave this handle behind. Put it back in the trailer where it belongs.